Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bigfoot, and welcome back to episode number 45 of my Transport Fever series here on the White Valley. In today's episode, we're going to go ahead and I got a few different things and a few different comments in the past few episodes which have really just jogged my memory, I guess. So, first of all, on the map is a general, we're doing relatively well. We're really working on cargo and getting a lot of towns connected. However, there was a comment, I think I want to say it was from either Ethmeister or Billy Twister. I do apologise, I forgot who it was. But they were basically saying to go ahead and create, I guess, an outer ring right around the whole map, which serves as a cargo line. And I mean, that really just got me thinking quite a lot, and there's so much that I can do with that I could provide pretty much every city with all its required resources. For example, right now, if we can actually click on Newton Abbot, most towns seem to have maybe one or two sets of goods being provided, but no town is like complete. But the only way I would reach that is be able to really get stuff moving around a lot more efficiently instead of having point-to-point lines, having like a massive circular line, which I think anyway is very, very doable. However, obviously logistically that would be an extreme challenge because we'd have to build an extreme amount of infrastructure, but as long as we keep our, I guess, goods tracks separate from our passenger tracks, then that could really work. Obviously we've got a lot of infrastructure in the map already which just does serve goods, i.e. for example we've got the line which I guess starts up here at the iron ore mine here at Chorley, and then this runs all the way through past the logs and then past the steel mill, continues down here to the sawmill, passes the sawmill, keeps going down to the machine factory, and then from there it keeps on going all the way down, staying separate the whole way, I believe. Actually, it crosses over here, but even still, and it runs down to here. So this is like our central production area, which serves our central towns, but we could quite easily do something like that on the outside, just on a little bit of a different scale. Again, we've got another goods network here connecting up Chorley, which we're going to spend some time in today, running down here to the riverside with the Thax oil refinery, and then that connects into Hetton as well. So it's all quite exciting, and it does really open up a massive opportunity and a massive project as well. So that's something which very, very, very slowly we're going to work towards, because it's not a 2-episode job, it's not even a 10-episode job, it is a long job. So we'll see how far we can get with it. I don't have Industry Tycoon on though on this map, so if basically like what do you call these actual like oil refineries, or these industrial units, if they reach their max production, then that's it. So they're capped at that. If I was to go ahead and bring an Industry Tycoon, then I realised I could go ahead and increase the limit up to 3,200, but I don't really want to do that because I feel that takes away from the challenge if you're just relying on one place and upgrading the capacity continuously. So I think for now we'll leave that anyway, but that does give us a really good starting point. But before all this, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make a change, because this change is just needed in all honesty. Right now we still have a bus route in the game, and this bus route is ridiculously overcrowded is the issue. So as we can see here, we've got the bus route from Kendall here to Thax. Currently there is over 140 people waiting, which is crazy. Then you can continue up the bus line, there's a lot of people waiting there. So this realistically needs a railway line, which we're going to go ahead and build. Now this railway line will just go ahead and run along the river here into Thax. Thax does have a railway station, part of the Riverside project, but it's on the wrong side of town. So what I think we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and build a second station at this other end of town here, so we can go ahead and just have quite a direct connection over to the town of Kendall. Now I was also thinking about doing a connection to Goldmine, but Goldmine's just a bit difficult, especially with the line being where it is. We could have a station coming along the top here, along this plateau, and then curling in to our central station. That would be quite achievable and quite easy to do. However, I can't come in from the other way just because, one, we've got our food processing plant here, and also the railway track that comes into this town actually goes through a massive tunnel underground, as we can see from over here. Which reminds me, I need to tidy this up a little bit. So we'll go ahead and sort this out. And then I feel that if the town of Thaxt over there is already connected up to 2 towns anyway, then I don't really feel it needs to be connected up to 3. So that's my thinking anyway. So we'll go ahead and we'll first of all see how this connection does, and we'll really work from there. So this should be a really easy and quick build. I say that, it will become complicated very quickly. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to demolish this real connection here so we can get right into the centre of town. We're also going to have to go ahead and add in a tram into the town here as well, because, or at least upgrade the tram. Is there a tram here? Yeah, there is a tram, but it's going to need its route upgraded 1. And it also, I think, will need to try and connect the 2 train stations quite well, so that's one of my main aims with this. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to have the station running out here, so we're just going to make it like 160 long, and that will try and run along parallel here. Though surprise surprise, I'm having terrain issues, so that works out quite well like that. Hence this was the reason why I removed this road here, so I can get a nice central connection. This is relatively centred in the town, which is good. Then from here what I can do is I'm already going to go ahead and upgrade this station. Never going to need 2 platforms, but what I think we'll do is we will add in second street connection there, yes. And apply, that we can't actually apply with that, which is unfortunate, so I'll just have to leave it as it is. Then from here what's going to happen is, no doubt we'll probably land up going straight into a tunnel, but if we can avoid it, I want to avoid it. Let me also go ahead and double this line up as soon as possible. We'll come back and do terraforming here, I promise. But that basically outputs a line to there, and then coming along the river and down here, this part will be the easy part, so we can come back to that. How are we going to do this at this end though, in the town of Kendall? Well, if we go ahead and upgrade here to 3 platforms, it does actually allow me to do it, which is quite surprising, but no wonder it allowed me to do it there. That's a bit of a problem, so I need to go ahead and I always fall for this. 200, I think it's about, yeah, 320, perfect. So, if we go ahead and do that, then that resolves all ongoing issues, does it not? Yeah, it does. So that train should just continue on as normal now. I'm just going to wait to double check that it actually does continue on as normal, because I'm a little bit nervous it won't, though it's taken a while to go ahead and empty, so we'll speed this up. As we can see, the lag is, or the frame rate is not doing great today, but I mean, arguably there's so much going on in this map. Each save now is 250 megabytes, so it's got crazily big recently, but the map has been worked on for such a long duration. Interestingly, that train is full as it leaves to go up to Coburn, and we've still got a lot of people waiting, so there could be a train upgrade coming in here, but we'll see about that shortly. Anyway, so that's the new platform added in, which is perfect, and the street connection is still there, so that's good. Then I think what we're going to have to do is, I think we're going to have to cross the roads, which that'll be a real challenge in itself. Then what we'll do is we'll double up the line after the crossroads, which will be perfect. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start to build this out here like so. Then if I go ahead and re-slow the game down again so I can actually get some decent frames, what I want to do is I want to intersect this road here like that, keeping a decent speed. Then from there we're going to jump over the river, and if I look up I should start to be aiming towards the other tracks, which I am, which is perfect. And then if we run into there, that looks absolutely wonderful, and job pretty much done. So I'll very quickly go ahead and double this up. Back to, oh, it's not like in the crossroads. Understandable here actually, especially on a hill. We can go ahead and do that though, which will do for now to be honest, and then we'll get these tracks to come back together slowly but surely, which is good enough like that. And then what we'll do is we'll have the merger just before the crossroads here like so, which is perfect. So let me very quickly go ahead and signal this up. This will take 2 seconds as it is an incredibly short line in general. Let's have a signal just before the level crossing and another one just before on the other track. Let's have 2 just before the bridge. We can have 2 on the bridge. The bridge is actually quite long, but it's just because it goes over the river at such an angle. Then we can add a few more along here, which the good thing is it's quite a short track, as I've said. We can have a stop signal there and that'll run into there. Perfect. So now that that's done, we can go ahead and soften up this terrain over here a bit, just because it looks pretty awful right now. So that should do the trick. And there we go, that embankment looks a little bit more natural. Don't get me wrong, it's still not perfect, but it will do the job just like so. Perfect. Okay, so now what I need to do is go ahead and add in an engine house, which I think we will do from this side here. So if we go ahead and curl this out here like so, then what we're going to do is I'm honestly going to add 2 Stadler flirts from the start, just because I think that this railway line could actually get a lot of use very, very quickly. And the reason for that is because the buses are already packed. So I'm expecting a lot of work to be, or a lot of people wanting to go between the towns. 2 Stadler flirts gives me a train capacity of, what, 450? So that would be absolutely perfect. One thing I forgot to do though is build a line, so let's very quickly go ahead and do that. Start at the Thaxted Annex and then run you into here. And that has split across 2 lines successfully, wonderful. Right, so this is the T, this is the Kendall, and this is to Thaxted, which is perfect. Right, okay, so now that's done, we can go ahead and set these trains onto that track. T, Kendall, Thaxted, there we go. And service has begun there. So what I will do is I will go ahead and check out the buses which are currently roaming in between the 2. This is, I think, one of only, is it the only bus route, or have we still got 2? I think we've still got one coming in from Gold Mine, which, again, another reason why I shouldn't build a railway line is because I think the buses are coping on that route. Or am I guessing they're coping on that route? Yeah, I mean, that bus isn't even full, so that's not too bad anyway. I think I could do with actually upgrading the width of the road though, that would be super useful. So if we upgrade to large street, though in saying that, I am shortly going to be going ahead and I'm going to have to, yeah, I'm going to have to alter the tram I think here, aren't we? Yeah, give me a second. Right, let's go ahead and just delete this bus route right now, because I'm no longer going to need it. So let's sell all the vehicles on it and let's go ahead and axe the routes, which is fine. Then what we can do is go ahead and see, I guess, what parts of town are now really unconnected here. So first of all, I cannot see that line at all, which isn't great. So this is Thaxted, which is going to be near the bottom of the list. There we go, perfect. So interestingly, we're not on auto replacement, which is very, very strange indeed. Do I still think Cobras are the best shout? I mean, profit-wise, it's doing quite well, so I feel like I could probably have an upgrade from Cobras to... That's the real question. It's quite a jump, I feel, from Cobras all the way up to Citadis Trams, but now we've also got a lot more in between that now, which is also quite interesting as well. We've got the Vienna B-Stock, which again, I'm quite happy to try different trams, to be honest. I think I really should. We've got lots of trams here at 30 passengers, 35, that could be quite useful. We got 60, 86, 58, and we got 29. 30, I think we're going to try these trams here actually, so I think it's the Wien, which is also the, I think it's the German name for Vienna if I'm right, so Vienna Type E2 plus C5, so I'm guessing it's the larger tram is maybe the E2 and the smaller one's the C5. With the larger one being the power car, yeah, that would make sense, because the one above is just an E2. So yeah, let's go ahead and try this out. Let's just try something totally different here. So let's go for on and let's go for replace now. And let's see that difference. Now while we're at it, let's go ahead and change the colour so I can actually see it. So, as we can see here, the route is, it's not too bad in all honesty. What I think I'm going to do though is I'm going to expand it maybe up here into the top of the town and then bring it down to outside of the station here. I think that would be quite a useful thing to do. So for these changes, what I'm going to have to do is select yes, and select our upgrade tool. Then from here, I'd quite like to come up this street here. up here and along here, which is perfect. Now this road I need upgraded in all honesty. So I might just have to bite the bullet and delete it and lose the industry on this road, to be honest. Yeah, we're gonna have to do it, aren't we? Right, let me go ahead and grab this. Let's go ahead and demolish that. Which is not great, but it had to be done. Let's go ahead and build from... It's not gonna let me build from there to there. It is gonna let me build from there to there. Perfect. And then let's continue this down through the town. And this is where we're going to go ahead and have our new city turning circle like so. So that's the new route for the tram, which is exciting, and then we'll go ahead and tidy this up shortly. So let me go ahead and now add in our new tram stops. So we've got one there in the corner, we can have another one just round here, another one up here. I think one on this main road would make sense. Though at the same time, I don't want it to get caught up in too much traffic, but there's going to be trams here, so it's kind of unavoidable. Then let's have a stop right outside the station, and that should work perfectly. I'm a bit worried about this junction here though, because it's sort of like a double junction. Which essentially, it's a six-way junction here, which I'm not liking the look of. But if it can hold its own, then here's hoping, to be honest. Again, we'll just see. I mean, there's not a lot of traffic on the road anyway in this town, which is good. We do have some trucks passing through, but outside of that, I think we're doing okay traffic-wise. It's more just I've got trams, I've got buses, and I'll have my own trucks all using the bus lanes, which could cause some issues. Anyway, let's actually now go ahead and alter this route. So let's go ahead and first of all cut out stop number 8, 8, and 8, which is good. So that brings us back to 7 here at George Street. Let's go ahead and Park Avenue, Springfield Road, Mill Road, then coming down here and into... Are we best going around that way? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think we will actually. So let's try that out. And let's go for that. And see if that works. So that'll stop there, and then from there we can go ahead and hit all our stops on the way back as well. Though I have just jumped out of sequence, I've just realised here. So after stop number 12, we want to return to Mill Road, Springfield Road, Park Avenue, and there we go. Voila, perfect. Final thing I do need to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and delete that bus stop there, and we're just going to go ahead and downgrade this road. No and no. And let's go ahead and take that road out of action, which is a real shame, but these things happen. And then I guess down here as well, Tram's still covering this part of town, so this part of town has still got a connection, which is really, really good to see. How busy is this tram right now? It's got 10 people. I think it's about to have a lot more than 10 people on it. Yeah, that tram should fill up. So come back to Thax later on. It's taken us way too long to get to this stage, but now I guess the train's had a bit of time to get going. How's it doing? It's got 196 people on it, so already a great success, and there's already 51 people waiting at this end. Once the tram actually starts moving down into this part of town, then I think it will do even better. Then again on this section here, we've still got the other bus as well, which continues to move in from Gold Mine as well, which is perfect. So all good there. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump away from that now, because I want to turn my attention up here to Coburn, because in between this and the last episode I was just checking out what my most unprofitable routes were, and one of them was to do with construction here, which wasn't making me very good at all, or making me very happy at all, should I say. And it's really all to do with, interestingly, our Coburn construction train, which I was quite surprised at. So if we come in here, the strange thing is it's also got a replacement. So the bottom line is that it's just not getting much goods on it at all. As we can see, 39 out of 208. And I was thinking, okay, why is this then? Well, it's basically so much construction materials are going down the hill to Hetton. Now that's understandable, because Hetton is our capital city, I guess you could say, and very much it could do with all the goods. What I think is going to have to happen though is... So no vehicles going into there, we can just get rid of that then. Though Though in saying that, yeah, I mean, this place used to be a trucking centre, like a major trucking centre, like it used to be absolutely crazy, so no wonder that's there. Let me just go ahead and soften out this terrain very quickly. But what I think I need to go ahead and do is I need to go ahead and try and pinch back some of that construction resources or bricks distribution, because too much of it is going down to the town of Hetton. As we can see here, we are pretty much producing the maximum amount of stone up here, and we're near enough doing the same on the amount of construction materials up here. So it's really, all of it must just be heading straight down into Hetton, which again is fine, but I need some more of it to be diverted over here to Coburn, because it's really not worth running the railway line if we are going to continue like this, to be honest. I think it would just be a bit redundant if we were to continue on like this. But there's two reasons why this is happening, and I think it's because Coburn has grown so much and transport just hasn't kept up with Coburn that it really needs some changes. So let's go ahead and take a look at this town and see what we can do. First of all, let's go ahead and get rid of that, because that is no longer used at all, which is good to note. Now, if I'm right in saying in this town right now, we've got 2 trams on the go, which I'm gonna think is quite stupid in all honesty, and I think we've probably outgrown both trams as well. But let's go ahead and see if either of these are profitable. Neither are profitable, which doesn't come as any surprise, to be honest. I'm not, and it's a very, very, very inefficient route as well, to be honest. It could do a lot better in itself, so I think we can see some work going on there. The TR Coburn one, it really actually isn't that far off a profit, to be honest. Though again, I just don't think it gets enough people for... Now, if it's not getting enough people for Type 1 trams, then we do have a big problem here actually, but... see, there we go, it just did hit green, not a lot of green, but... because we've got so many new trams now, I feel we can downgrade the tram. So right now, on this route, we're using the Mirages at 23 seaters, which cost 46k. We could go down to the Type 1s, which cost 32k. Or we can go ahead and adventure around and see what we've got here with the new tram. So, right now, 46,000. We need to come under 46,000. So let's see what we can go ahead and do here. That's not too far away though, that's a little bit too expensive. As is that, even though it's got a smaller capacity, which is interesting. What about this here? I think that's the same, just a different skin. Then we're getting up to much larger trams. Right, okay, so we could always go for a steam tram. I'm not going to go for that though, I don't think. I think we should just downgrade to the Type 1 trams in all honesty. So, not the prettiest looking things, but they should go ahead and turn that route profitable, which would be super useful. And we could possibly go ahead and expand this line as well, but honestly, if it is going to break some profit, then we might as well just keep it. Plus it is serving a part of town, which is useful. What I do want to do is go ahead and update this purple route though quite drastically, because it's just very inefficient indeed. And there's also a lot of roads as well in this town, which I feel could do with a lot of upgrading and a lot of work. Right now, truck-wise though, I'm quite interested in the truck routes that are coming through here. So, currently right now, I think we're only serving to one goods depot, and that's probably why there's not a lot of demand in the town here for goods, which again, I understand that very much so. So I think we need to go ahead and improve upon that if we can. What we need to do is we need to jump into here, and we need to go ahead and have a look at our zonage map and see. Actually, I mean, interestingly, this place probably covers the bulk of the industrial side of things, but it doesn't cover the commercial side of things. In saying that though, what goods are we getting in here? Right now, it's all industrial, but both ratings are poor. So what I think we can do is I think we can go ahead and definitely do a few things here. The first problem is here we've got too many vehicles sharing this one road. That's honestly a bit of an issue, which I'm not liking the look of right now. Interestingly now, that tram's just about full, which is kind of crazy. Though, I mean, again, it's the majority of people wanting to go the other way, so that's understandable. Anyway, I get distracted, I digress. So yeah, I think it's just this bit here has got too much pressure on it. Arguably, there's only one tunnel going under the station here. So what I think we can do is maybe go ahead and add in a second tunnel and try to take some pressure off this. On top of this, we can do a lot of upgrading in this town as well, as I said, with its roads. So let's go ahead and think about an alternative here, just so we can take pressure off this crossroads, because it's an absolute mess. It's just really unfortunate the way Coburn is, because Coburn's very much in a valley and you can really see that. And it's causing us a lot of issues. It really, really is indeed. Interestingly, we've still got a station at the end here, which is like point to point. It's really, I don't like stations which end like this. I much prefer like a turning circle. And again, I don't think we're actually moving construction goods fast enough either, which is interesting. Right, anyway, let's go ahead and see what we can do here. So, what I am thinking of doing is I want to go ahead and add in a... It's just this whole road here. It's causing too many problems, but I really don't want to have to intersect it either, to be honest. If we go ahead and draw that under there, so have another tunnel which is basically running parallel, and then we have you run round up to... We build you up drastically all of a sudden. Then how tall are you? Yeah, you're about in line, which is good. We build you to there, and then try connect that up there. See, we're going to get this issue of too much slope, though that works. Yeah, that works perfectly. Right, okay, so that means we might be able to direct the trucks now via this tunnel, which would be much better. So what I need to do is go ahead and, first of all, we are going to have to change this though, because this current goods depot isn't really in the best place, one, and it's also a bit small as well. I'd rather upgrade it a little bit. Right now I believe... Hold up, I'm now confused. So we also have fuel coming in. How is fuel getting into here? Unless, have we got a mix of trucks? These trucks can take both fuel and construction goods, right, that makes sense, okay. And then whenever the train arrives, yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense, right, understood, because there's about to be a... That's actually a really high delivery of construction goods now, that's really interesting. Anyway, I digress again. Right, okay, so what we're going to do is, I think we are going to go ahead and just change the location of this slightly. Or we could add a second and leave this one here. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to try and do. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm first of all going to delete this temporarily. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause before the game absolutely shits itself. We're going to go ahead and connect that up to there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and re-add in probably the same size of depot actually, just because I don't have a lot of room here. So let's grab ourselves a large depot, and we can't get the large one in here though, so it's going to have to be a small one, which again I very much said I was against, but it's going to have to happen here. So if that goes in there, that'll work perfectly. Like so. So is that rerouted into here? It has rerouted into here, perfect. But the good thing is now I've got better access to here, so if we go ahead and upgrade neither of these roads, great, right, okay, we're gonna have to go ahead and do some deconstruction now, which isn't great either. These things have to happen. I can't even destruct this though. And I'm not gonna go ahead and do all of that either. This is a joke, what is going on? There we go, perfect, right, that resolves my issues. So if we go ahead and have this road stem off... Let's first of all have a connection to there, and let's have the road going down to there. That's perfect. So now we just need to go ahead and add on waypoints onto this route as well. So if I go ahead and grab myself 2 waypoints, one there and one there, then Coburn Central is right in the centre of town, which is understandable. So from here what's going to happen is trucks are going to come out and they're going to stop there. And then on the way back they'll go via there. So that means they're all now going via this tunnel. So I think this could make the tram a lot more profitable as well, in all honesty. I'm looking forward to that. So that should partially resolve that issue. So let's go ahead and speed that up. Then I would also like an additional depot. I don't even know where, to be honest. I really don't. You know what, I think we're actually going to leave it for now. We are going to have to leave it for now because it's just... things just are taking too long. Plus, right now, this does cover everything. I think it's just getting really held up with the... I think it's just this crossroad crisis, in all honesty. So hopefully that'll make a difference now, and we'll start to see a little bit more goods getting delivered and the demand going up and the profit on that train, because right now that train is, or was doing still very poorly. It was losing about 6 million though, it's now only losing about 4 million, which is a bit better. It's still not great, but the train's also 46 years old, which isn't great either. So interestingly, the Coburn fuel is also the third worst performing train too, so yeah, I feel this would all be resolved if we just... I'll deal with that off camera, honestly. What I do want to do though is we're going to go ahead and reroute the tram though, because the tram's just way too inefficient. It turns way too much and it's just not practical. So what I want to do instead now is we're going to go ahead and serve the town just generally better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the tram probably along one of these central roads here, and then just come along over here to the suburbs, and that will do instead of weaving and winding like it does, because it's very, very inefficient this way. So let's go ahead and get started with this. What I think I might do is I might go ahead and continue along this road actually. So if we go back into road tools, let's go into upgrade, let's go electric, and yes, let's go ahead and upgrade that, and then upgrade that, which runs along here. Then the tram's going to continue along there, though it's not. Right, well I want it to continue along there, but it's not going to happen evidently. Then what I think I want to do is I honestly want to start to come down this part of town here, in all honesty. Right down here, and then we'll use this bottom end as a turning circle. Though again, I don't think that's going to happen, so I will go ahead and sort that out shortly too. On top of that though, I am noticing that so many roads around here are just needing of just a general upgrade to just roads, to be honest. So let's go ahead and do that as well, just so we can go ahead and make life a little bit easier for some of the peoples of the town. The roads are all really small streets right now. I feel they could be a little bit better and a little bit more sophisticated, in all honesty. So let's go ahead and do that. Hopefully that'll make some difference, though I have destroyed quite a few buildings in the process as well, which isn't great, but hey ho, these things happen. Right, okay ladies and gentlemen, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go ahead and make these changes off camera because I've ran out of time this episode, but I'll start the next episode by basically just addressing them and hopefully going ahead and start to see some improvements, and we can hopefully get to the massive cargo project as of the next episode, which will be in 2 episodes time. Anyway, hope you have enjoyed watching this episode. Please leave a like, rate, and subscribe if you are new around here. Go down into the description below, give me some of your thoughts and your feedback if you can. Go ahead and check out my Twitter, my Patreon, and my Discord. Links are all in the description below. And that's all for this video, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Bigfoot, and I'm out.